again. Many people have followed this piece of advice and have accomplished their dreams which would have seemed impossible. I am Demosthenes, and this is my story. I was born with a severe speech defect, but I did not get discouraged and went on to become one of the greatest orators of my times. As a boy, I used to stammer. I was shy and delicate. I remember my first public speech. My voice was not clear. I could hear the people laugh and jeer at me. I stammered. I tried to move on, but had to stop and leave. I could not bear the thought that people found my speech strange and funny. I knew I had to work hard, and thus started a way that I went on practicing and became one of the greatest Athenian orators. My father was a rich sword maker of Athens. He died when I was 7 years old. He had left me a great deal of fortune, but my guardians could not take care of the money. Some of it they lost, and some of it they spent on themselves. In the end, there was very little money to give me a proper education. I was angry with my guardians. Was there a way I could make them feel sorry for it? I did not know then that learning to speak would help me one day. Athens had some of the great orators. I would listen to my teachers speak about them, and I longed to hear their public speeches. One day, I heard Callistratus, an orator who the people admired, was coming to the city to speak at a great trial. I used to hear many people talk about him. I begged my tutor to allow me to hear and watch the trial in the courtroom. My tutor agreed and even gave me a chair to sit where I could see and hear everything. The speech was filled with purpose and power. As soon as Callistratus finished the speech, the Athenians crowded round him. Some of them even went along with him to his home. I was impressed and inspired, and I thought, one day I, Demosthenes, will become the greatest orator and make people listen to me. I will have the power of words where people will agree and believe in me. In my heart, I thought, maybe this special talent would help me fight the injustice done to me by my guardians in the court of law. There began my journey. For 2 years, I began to write scripts. I read history. I began to listen to famous speeches. At the age of 18, I believed I was ready. I went to the court of law to fight the injustice done by my guardians to me. No one took me seriously. I fought again and again. At last, I won, and my guardians were ordered to pay every penny of mine. But alas, They had spent all the money, and there was nothing left. Once more, I was filled with sadness and anger. How could they do this to me? But I never gave up. I tried harder again. And for the first time, I decided to speak in the assembly of Athens. It was a failure. I could see it from the faces of people. I lost hope. I left the assembly and went along the road, not knowing where I was heading. I felt sadness in my heart. But as I was walking, I looked back and felt someone following me. I turned around. It was an old man, the same old man who had listened to me speaking in the assembly. He felt that I was in despair and had followed me. He touched my arm and told me, "What happened, Demosthenes? I wanted to come to praise you." I looked at him and he said, "You remind me of the great orator Pericles." "How can you give up so easily, Demosthenes?" he asked. I felt encouraged and went on to speak for the second time. But the second time too was a failure. I walked out of the assembly, hiding myself with a cloak. I was sad. I felt I was followed by Satyrus, a great actor. He knew me well. I didn't hide my feelings from him. A sailor with foolish deeds, they applaud for him. And I, Demosthenes, who talks about the glorious deeds of their countrymen, they do not care, I told him bitterly. "True, Demosthenes," he answered, "but I will tell you the reason. If you recite some of the words from our great poets." I recited few lines. I spoke all the lines correctly, but my voice was dull. There was certain awkwardness in the way I delivered my speech. When I finished, Satyrus repeated the same lines that I had recited. I stood amazed, full of surprise. Were they the same lines that I spoke? His eyes flashed, his voice rose and fell, and his body swayed with the words. Then I understood why my speeches were not interesting to the Athenians. I realized that it was not just to read and recite, but it was important to do actions also. From that day, I changed my ways. I converted one of the cellars in my study. I started staying there for 2 to 3 months at a sweep. I practiced there undisturbed. I used to go on the seashore and shout my speeches with pebbles in my mouth so that the words came through loud and clear. I used to remove the stones and my voice was clear. I used to stand in front of the mirror to improve my actions, gestures, tone, my voice and breath. It trained me. Now my speeches were full of drama and power. I was no longer that shy and delicate boy who used to stammer. I am Demosthenes, and this was my story. So, my dear friends, if you want to achieve your goal and accomplish your dreams, you need to work hard and try again if you fail. You need to sacrifice a great deal. You need determination. You should have the right attitude, persistence, put in lots of effort, have a strong belief in what you do and your work, a strong willpower, focus, be disciplined in life, have a strong sense of dedication, be optimistic that everything is going to be fine and right. Confidence is very important. Hard work and you will succeed. All these are very important, not only to become a great orator, but to do whatever you do. So, dear friends, remember, listen to great speeches, listen to great speakers, write your own books, read books, and it won't be far that you will definitely be successful in life.